will also be sharing this session with Rotaractors from Nepal through our YouTube channel. Uh, let me introduce Patrick. If please correct me if I pronounce your name wrongly. So we have Dr. Patrick Coleman here with us, and he has been a member of the Rotary Club of Lausanne, Lanch, Lancia,
Luansha.
Lancia, right?
Luansha.
Luancia. Yeah,
Very
sorry.
good.
Luansha since 1993, and he's married to Sherry Coleman, also a Rotarian since 1995. Patrick has a PhD in theology and is a lecturer of biblical studies. He founded the Christian Resource Center in Luansha in 1997 and the Lighthouse Children's Home in 1999. He is a member of the board of directors of Mission Medic Air Mobile Mission Maintenance Vocational Training Center and serves as a chairman of the Luancha Education Board. Yeah, so that was the introduction of our incredible speaker, Dr. Patrick Coleman. And so we shall move forward um, with the presentation and the speaking session now onwards. Up to you, Patrick. Yeah.
Thank you, Regan. I appreciate being here. Um, when I was asked to talk about the Beard and Mustache Fellowship, I've never been asked to talk about it in such a way. Um, but let me give you some history. First of all, my background in Rotary is with the Rotary Foundation. I'm a major donor, been a benefactor, a member of the Bequest Society. I was the regional Rotary Foundation coordinator for 3 years, and now I sit on the Major Gift Initiative Committee in Rotary, the only member for our committee in Africa. So that's my background. A few years ago, I was at our district conference, and the governor came and said to me, the person who was supposed to talk about Rotary Fellowships didn't show up or isn't here or something. Anyway, they weren't prepared. I said, yeah. And he said, can you do something? And I said, you understand that my purpose in being here is the Rotary Foundation? He said, yes, but we know you can do it. Great confidence. So I said, when do you need this? And he said, 2 hours. So I quickly sat down at my computer and began to investigate uh, Rotary Fellowships, how to start, how many there are, why they exist. And I found out that fellowships, and I've been a part of a fellowship, but not really involved in it all that much. But, the word fellowship is both a verb and a noun. Last night, we had a Rotary Fellowship at our house. We had about 20 Rotarians who came just for a party. No business, no agenda, just come, sit down, and enjoy. We had about 3 hours of fellowship. And of course, everyone left. And then my wife and I were cleaning up until way into the evening. So this morning, I'm up having coffee with you.
Yeah.
It is almost 7:30 in the morning for me, and on a Saturday. So this is my lay-in day, but I'm here with you, and I'm glad to be here. The other kind of fellowship is the noun. It's a group of people who get together over a common interest. That interest can be anything. It can be football, cricket. If you're in America, it can be baseball. It can be the other kind of football, where you use your hands, not your feet. Um, if you're in Canada, it might be winter sports, something called curling, where you push a big rock down a big slab of ice and move it with brooms. I don't fully understand that, but people have fellowship over many, many things. So when my governor wanted me to talk about Rotary Fellowships, I talked about what they were and why they existed, and then how to start one. because I didn't know. So I'm finding out how to start a fellowship. And as I'm talking to the audience, about 300 or 400 people, we were talking about different kinds of fellowships. Yes, there's a fellowship for computers. I sit on the board of the Rotarians on the Internet Rotary Fellowship, which is kind of fun. We also had a meeting yesterday, and I spoke at that meeting by Zoom, which is kind of cool. Well, because of the interest in computers, Rotary was on the cutting edge of virtual meetings like this one. And even though we haven't been able to meet personally for so many months, about 18 months, Rotary has continued to even grow in some areas because of virtual meetings, because we're getting together like we are today. So this didn't exist back in those days, but we're talking about getting together, meeting, and having fun. So we talked about other kinds of fellowships. There's fellowships for doctors, fellowships for lawyers, which is interesting since Rotary started for fellowship. You do understand that the first 4 people who started Rotary did not come together to cure a disease. They didn't come together to drill wells and build toilets. They didn't come together for social service. They came together for fellowship. These were 4 men, businessmen, and back in those days, all men. That has been corrected, by the way, since 1989, because Rotarians realized that we needed not to leave out the other half of the population. So ladies have been involved in Rotary since 1989, and we are smarter, prettier, and we smell better than we did back before those days because the ladies are here. And fellowship was the key. In many areas, fellowship has lost its way, and Rotary has become yet another business meeting. But we need to retain fellowship. I sit on 5 boards, all of them charity boards, and 1 education board and 4 charity boards. And I don't want to sit in another board meeting. So I tell people that my Rotary experience has to be fun. It has to be something I enjoy. I don't want to have to go to a Rotary meeting. As I said, last night we had 20 people at our house just eating and enjoying and listening to music and pretending to be able to sing. Karaoke is not my favorite thing, but everybody wants to pretend to sing. So yeah, we got along and we just enjoyed ourselves for a few hours, and that was fellowship. In a Rotary fellowship, we get together for the same kinds of things. So I'm having this meeting, this supposed to be a seminar type program, and we're talking about different kinds of Rotary fellowships, and suggestions are coming from the audience. And someone from the back of the room said, "Is there a beard or mustache fellowship?" So I quickly went on my computer and I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, no." And they said, "Well, why don't you start one?" And I said, "Okay, I think I will." So I began the process, and it is a process. There's all kinds of legal stuff you have to go through. And I'm so nice to see. I'm looking at a name. Is this Apar?
Yes, sir. Apar. Yes, sir.
Ah, lovely. And I see you're a candidate for our fellowship. Well done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm really interested to join this.
So I began the process of starting a fellowship. And again, it is a process. There's all kinds of legal things you have to do, and we have to set up a bylaws. They gave me an example, and I had to tweak that. And you have to have members from at least 5 different countries. No problem. We had that. You had to have some way to meet. That was Facebook. They suggested a web page, but I am not a web page designer. I tried it once and ended up offending a bunch of people. And I said, no, don't go where you're not wanted, and don't go where you can't function. I am not, for example, an auto mechanic. I do not pretend to be an auto mechanic. When my car makes funny noises, I call the mechanic and say, "Fix this." when it comes to web design, I don't even pretend, not anymore. As I said, tried one. So we probably want to get a web page up, but we're going to rely on people who do that. But the purpose of the fellowship was just to get together and talk about men's issues because, well, by and large, men have beards. Most ladies do not, although I've met a few I think had to shave, but most ladies don't have beards. But we named the fellowship the Beard and Mustache Appreciation Fellowship, which means what? You don't have to have a beard. I mean, I look at Regan. He wants to have a beard, and maybe one day apart we can
Yeah.
talk him into growing one, because men
Yeah.
have beards. Some of them look pretty scraggly. Some of them only grow here. Some of them have full beards. Mine is full. My wife makes me trim it. But having said that, my wife likes my beard. Her father had a beard. It's a part of our culture that men have beards. So when I grew my beard back in 1985, I grew it because in Lubumbashi, in Congo, where I lived, the water went off every day. There was no water. So in order for me to shave, I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and either save water in a bucket or shave at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I realized that getting up that early and scraping my face with sharp metal was not safe and not necessary. So I let my beard grow. And my wife looked at me. She said, "You look different." And I said, "Well, yeah, I feel different." But the beard was nice because it helped me stand apart from other people in the community. Around Christmas time that same year, the water came back on during the day. So I shaved off my beard. And the Congolese people looked at me and said, you need to grow your beard back. And I said, "Why?" They said, "Well, without the beard, you look like any other foreigner. With the beard, we know who you are." Now, back in those days, Sapar, my beard was your color. So was my hair. Over the years, my hair has turned white. My beard's gotten white. I look more like Father Christmas than I used to. But hey, it's here. I'd rather have my hair turn white than turn loose. So I have a beard. And I enjoy it because, well, it sets me apart and people know who I am. It's the man with the beard. And in Zambia today, not very many people have beards, so they know who I am. Oh, yes, it's the man with the white beard. So I'm recognizable. Now, having said that, in 2006 and 7, I was a Rotary district governor in our district. Our district includes Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, and northern Mozambique. So as governor, my goal was to raise money for the Rotary Foundation. Well, my goal was the equivalent of $100 per person in our district. Our district was small at the time. We only had 1,100 members. So I said the goal is $110,000 for the Rotary Foundation, which was ridiculous. We had never done anything like that. And I said,
Yeah.
well, if you're gonna have a goal, you go big or go home. So that was the goal, $110,000. And I said, let's see if we can make it happen. Well, we raised $160,000 that year because I pushed for the foundation. And I said, if we hit my goal of $110,000, I would shave off my beard. We did it. So at my district conference, I pulled out the clippers and pulled out the razor. And in front of everybody, I shaved off my beard, not my mustache. That was not a part of the deal. And someone said, "Are you going to shave off your mustache?" I said, "Yeah, right now today I'll shave off my mustache for an extra $10,000. My wife kept saying, no, wait till next year. Don't know. She didn't like me without the beard. Well, she liked me. She didn't like my face. So after I shaved off my beard, my wife said, "Don't ever do that again." my young son, who was about 10 years old at the time, said, "Daddy, put it back on," because I didn't look like Daddy. I looked like some stranger. It'd be like a comparison between Apar and Regan. You know, there is a difference, and the beard is the obvious difference. So my wife likes my beard, so she's a member of the Beard and Mustache Appreciation Fellowship. She doesn't have a beard, but she likes mine. She likes kissing a man who feels like a man. You know, and
Oh
men
my
have
God.
beards. Sorry,
I
Regan,
think
you
we
gotta
should
you,
also,
you gotta catch up. It'll come. It'll come. So, Beard and Mustache Appreciation Fellowship. One of the things we had to do in setting up the program, besides getting members, was coming up with a reason to exist. I mean, if you have an organization, you have some kind of entity, you must have a reason for existing. So we began looking around, and we came across the idea of men's health and hygiene. So on our Facebook page, we talk about how to take care of your beard, how to take care of your skin, how to take care of your hair, because these days women have all of the another beard. Well, there we go, another photograph of the beard. I'm loving it. We have all of these products for women to be beautiful. Men, well, we're just ugly old men. But if you're going to have a beard, you need to take care of the beard so it looks like you care. So we talk about men's health and hygiene, how to take care of your beard, how to make it look nice, how to make it feel nice for the ladies. Because if your face feels like a wire brush, it's not a good thing. So yes, we use the various products to make ourselves comfortable to our ladies, but also other areas of health that men uh, face. Men are different from women in the fact that we don't go to doctors until we're bleeding or dying. Okay, I mean, we hurt ourselves, we limp. We get hurt playing cricket, we limp around until we hope that God will heal us through some miraculous thing. Well, we don't go to doctors. Women go to doctors all the time because, well, they want to take care of their bodies, and men are men are tough. We just don't do things like that. But there are male issues that we need to be careful about, including issues like prostate. Most men who die of prostate cancer don't know they have prostate cancer until it is literally stage 4 and there's no hope. Nelson Mandela in South Africa died of prostate cancer, spent over 20 years in prison, and should have had decent medical care, but no. So when he got out of prison, he lived to be a hero in Africa, and he is. Madiba, we call him Madiba, is a hero in Africa and around the world, but sadly, he died of prostate cancer, something that most men don't even realize exists because, well, there may not be any symptoms until it's too far gone, and goes into stage 4. So these are the kinds of things that we talk about in our fellowship. How can we stay healthier? How can we stay slim? I have to tell you that at my age, and I'm talking to young Rotaractors, and I'm glad you're here, but at my age, I look at Rotaractors as potential Rotarians because I'm 67. I joined Rotary when I was Rotaract age, but I've been here a while and I've gotten older. So with age comes the desire not to do the running. If you see me running, you better run with me because it means there's a lion behind me. Uh, so I'm not into the running thing anymore. Sorry. It doesn't mean that old men don't run. It just means if we run, there's a purpose. And chasing a cricket ball or a football is not really a part of my program these days. But we need to take care of our health. So, how to stay healthy, how to eat right, how to exercise as a man so that we stay healthy. It's easier, as I said, when you're younger and you've got more energy, but it's important that we stay healthy, we exercise, we eat right, we do the things that are going to keep us healthy. So that's the purpose of the Beard and Appreciation Fellowship. Now, it doesn't mean ladies can't join, because ladies can join and have joined. But it doesn't mean you have to have a beard, Regan. You just have to want one. You have to want one. Oh, no, I'm sorry. You have to appreciate those of us who can grow a beard. But we're talking about issues that deal with men's health and hygiene. So we are excited about the fact that we've got members now all over the place. We were putting together our database, and sadly, our secretary died of a heart attack. So, and he was young. He was in his 40s. That's young to me, by the way. He passed away, and so we're rebuilding our database so we can work. I had a meeting yesterday with one of our members, and we have to have an AGM soon. And I said, well, let's get it all together. We've got to organize a new secretary. We've got to get all these things happening, because we have a purpose. We have interested people. We have people even in Nepal with lovely beards who are able to appreciate men's health and hygiene, and let's make it happen. So that's what we're going to do. And again, it's got to be viable. It's got to have a purpose. If there is no purpose, there is no reason to exist. And if there's no reason to exist, why spend the effort to do it? So, gentlemen, and I think there's at least one lady in the group. What do you think about a Beard and Appreciation Fellowship? And what are your thoughts on how it would be viable for you? Hello?
Yeah, I think we do not have any ladies in the room
Oh, we
for
did
now.
originally.
Yeah, we had one. I think she left.
Oh, my goodness. Well, gentlemen, let's
Yeah,
talk.
I think we have one recently. Kritika is a lady, so probably you can ask that question to Kritika. Yeah.
Well, we've
Yeah,
got
so
some time.
Kritika,
Let's talk.
yeah, so Kritika, Patrick was asking a question like how I think she's on hold now. All right, I think we can move on.
Okay, so let's talk. What do you think about beard and mustache appreciation? Apart, you have a beard. Why do you have a beard?
Yeah.
So as you already told, so it's the sign that we are a man. You just
Uh,
no offense to Megan though. It's just as you told, there is a comparable difference. If I didn't have beard, and the behavior of people change if I have a beard. So I noticed that, and also beer suits me more. I think so. That's why I'm opting to keep this on.
well, good. I mean, again, I grew my beard because I was too lazy to cut it off, and my wife saw it and liked it. So I keep it on. And even after shaving it off in 2007, it fortunately grew back very nicely. So it's still here. So I'm looking at, is it Sagar?
Yes. Yeah. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, Sagar. I can hear you.
Yeah.
You have a
So
beard. Why?
yeah. So I think the main reason is that I studied in, I don't know if you know, Punjab in India. Most of the people in there, mainly men, not women, but mainly men. They grow the beard. Like I don't know if you know the Sikh community. Those who
Very well.
belong to the Sikh
We have
community.
Sikhs in Zambia. And in fact,
Ah,
one of them is our district treasurer. So a good friend of mine.
yes, and they usually grow the beard, and I think that was one inspiration for me because I studied in Punjab in India, And I think the next I would say is like, as you said, as you pointed out, that it if we grow beard, like we looks manly. We look manly. Yeah,
Poor
I
Regan.
think. Yeah,
You need to come along, man.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I
think
was
That's
in a few years ago. I was on the western side of India. Well, I started off in where was I? Western side, anyway. In a place called oh, isn't this horrible? Uh, anyway, I was there for a medical treatment. Nobody had a beard in that part of India. Nobody had a beard. So, I know that Eastern India is different. And so it's nice to see you started your beard for a purpose. I don't see any other pictures, so I don't know if anybody else has a beard in the group. So the reason for having the fellowship is first of all to enjoy the fact that we enjoy our beards. Second of all, though, is to help us take care of or be aware of our own health and hygiene. We need to take care of ourselves as men. We don't. And it's very sad to see us as men ignore physical problems and say, well, it's no big deal. A few years ago, 2005, there was a small bump on my tongue, and it was tiny. It was like the top of a ball pin, very small. And I went to the doctor and I said, I've got this bump on my tongue. And he said, well, it's probably nothing, but we should get it checked anyway. So because I live in Zambia and there's no facility for this, I had to fly to South Africa, and they cut out the little bump and they did a biopsy. Well, of course, the moment you mention biopsy, you get a bit nervous, but they did the biopsy, and the surgeon said, we'll give you a call in a day or two and let you know what we find. Thank you. So I went back to my friend's house where I was staying, and the phone rang, and it was the doctor that night. And he said, Mr. Coleman, are you sitting down? And I said, no. What's going on? He said, well, we did the biopsy and we found a squamous carcinoma. Well, I know that carcinoma meant cancer. I had no idea what squamous meant. That's not my field. And he said, it means there's a cancer with tentacles, like an octopus or a squid. I said, oh, what do we do? He said, well, we need to do some more tests and we may need to have another surgery. So they did the test and they took more of my tongue and they took all the lymph nodes out of my neck and did another biopsy. They found no cancer, but I lost 25% of the side of my tongue. I had to learn to retalk because it sounded rather ridiculous. And I'm a teacher. I need my tongue to teach. Yeah, there are some things you just need in your life if you're going to do a certain vocation, and if you're going to talk, you need a tongue. So they did the test. They did the second biopsy. They found nothing. They said we got everything, but it was a real concern. Every 6 months, I flew back to South Africa for a checkup for 2 years, and then annually for another 2 years. And now when I go to South Africa, I go to the doctor just to check because I found a bump that wasn't supposed to be there. So on our bodies, we should be aware of what's there and what's not there and what is supposed to be there. And most importantly, what is not supposed to be there. So if we see something wrong, go to the doctor. Don't pretend that we're going to get everything fixed. We have to be able to function. And that's, again, the reason that we have the Beard and Mustache Appreciation Fellowship, so that men can talk about hygiene and health issues so we stay healthy. I want all of you to live to be older than me. My father passed away 2 years ago. He was 90, and he didn't like beards, but he had one just because he got too lazy to cut it off. But the idea was, if you live a healthy life, you live a long life. So I want you all to live to be older than me. And that doesn't mean you have to have a beard. So, Regan, I tease you, but the beard's not going to make you healthier. But
Yeah.
our men's issues are important, and men don't take care of themselves the way we should. So that's why we have it. I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think about a beard and mustache fellowship?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think it can play a vital role in like being aware, like men being aware about health and issues, and also like uh, a lot of beard and mustache enthusiasts might find hard to groom their beard, and they can find valuable information in the fellowship group itself. Um, and for me personally, I do not prefer beard and mustache because I find it really dirty, or I know. I think I don't know how to groom it. Let me put it like that. Yeah.
Well, that's why we're here. Am I going to be able to share a screen?
Yes, yes, Patrick.
I don't know how this happens, so you're going to have to help me because I don't usually use Microsoft Teams.
Teams.
I'm on Zoom all the time.
Mm. Yeah, I think it should not be a problem. Let's try. Let
What
me
am I
know if
supposed to
I.
be clicking on?
So there should be an icon on the right top. So there's leave, and then uh, at the left of leave there is like up arrow icon. So you can click that icon.
Okay, well, I'm not seeing that at all.
Or what you can do is you can press Control Shift E, or if you are on Mac, then
Well, I've just pushed it and it's not helping me. It sends me to push bullet, which is not what I want. Control
mhm.
Shift E.
Yeah,
Now it
and
sends me
then
to push bullet.
I think
So I have my three
maybe
little dots here. It says enter full screen. Keypad. No, it doesn't. It's not going to let me share. Anyway,
uh,
I was going to take us to the Beard and Mustache Appreciation Facebook group, and in
or
that you'll see
mm,
pictures of various mustaches and beards that are uh, interesting. I'm still trying to find how to share because it's not giving me any joy. Anyway, if you go to the Beard and Mustache Appreciation Rotarian Fellowship, it's a long name, but that's the official name. You'll see on that lovely mustache that has taken years to cultivate because cultivating a proper beard and mustache is not something that you do overnight. You will see there's a few years ago there was a Turkish imam who said that men without beards cause indecent thoughts. Well, amongst women, and no, I don't think that's a reality, but that's one person's thought. You see a bat stash where a man has his beard and his mustache cut into a Batman theme. You've got a man with a beard that's nearly half a
yeah,
meter long.
yeah,
And so there's all kinds of interesting issues here. And we want you to add your thoughts. I'd love to have you talk more about what you think about men's health and taking care. Ah, yeah, you've got it. Someone has found it. Well done. And you see, go back and you go back, scroll back down again. And you look at these two actors. No, other not too far. You're looking at these two. There you go. You see those guys? I remember when they had clean shaven faces. And don't they just look grown up. It's interesting. George Clooney used to look like a kid, and he
Yeah.
doesn't anymore. So as you scroll down, you'll find more stuff, and we talk about proper care of the beard, making it nice, and uh, then there's some funny stuff that I've added on here, and the idea is just to enjoy the fellowship, just to have fun with it. So I hope you'll have some fun. There's the bat stash. It's a little more than I would want to do to my face, I think. Uh, that, at least people would notice you. And then, so we just share. We talk about there's the half a meter beard there. He's got no hair on his head, but he's got plenty on his face. That's got to be heavy. I mean, imagine that being wet. Your head would drop down. So let's have some fun. Let's enjoy ourselves in fellowship. And by the way, there are lots of fellowships out there. So if you have an interest in like I said, your profession, your own vocation, okay, the Rotarians on the internet would be a great place for people who are involved in internet communication, virtual meetings, virtual education. There's one that's called the International Computer Users Fellowship of Rotary. Whew, what a name. And it, again, this is where I'm trying to get some help with a web page. People who know how to do this stuff. I don't. That's okay. I don't have to know everything. My wife does. But even she doesn't do web pages. She does YouTube and other things. But there are other things that you can get involved doing. There's well, go to Rotary. Go to the Rotary, or even better, because sometimes the Rotary webpage can be a bit daunting. Google Rotary Fellowships. You will find them that they are fellowships for golf. There are fellowships for sailing. There's fellowships for various things. There's a fellowship for whiskey. Really. There's a fellowship for whiskey. You're all smiling. Yeah. There's a fellowship for beer. There's a fellowship for wine. Someone told me there's a fellowship for gin. I don't know. I'm not really a gin person. But there's all kinds of there's a fellowship for stamp collecting, which I tried for a while when I was younger, but not really my area of interest. So there's all kinds of fellowships. So go online, Google Rotary Fellowships, and just enjoy being together with other people who have interests similar to yours. And let's enjoy our Rotary experience. Again, Rotary was formed for fellowship. There was a past district governor in our district who was ancient. He was ancient when I met him. I think he was born old. But his name was Abe Galoon. And Abe Galoon told me way back in, it must have been around the turn of the century, which sounds like a long time away because it was 21 years ago. But he walked up to me and he said, "Young man," I was young then. Abe was always old. He said, "Young man, if it's not fun, it's not Rotary." And I made that a part of my Rotary experience. When I was governor, I made sure we had fun. The banquet at the end of my Rotary year, at the end of my district conference, I said, "We're not going to have a governor's banquet. We're having a governor's party. No ties allowed." And one of my district officers was very annoyed because he said, "I always wear a tie to Rotary." And I said, "You're welcome to wear a tie. You just can't come in the room because we're having a party." His wife laughed at him. He took off the tie and came into the party, and we had a great time. So fellowship is fun. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy ourselves in Rotary. Some people think that Rotary is boring. I've been to some Rotaract meetings that would have turned the world upside down. And I said, I think Rotarians need to act more like Rotaractors and just have some fun. It's not all about business. It's about enjoying life. And if we don't enjoy life, oof, what's the purpose? I think if we had more Rotaractors in places like Afghanistan, we'd have more fun in Afghanistan. We wouldn't be having fighting and wars because Rotaractors want to enjoy life. I think if we had more Rotaractors in other hot spots in the world, we would have more of a relaxed atmosphere. I was speaking to a man from Lebanon, and he said, I think we need to relax our lifestyle a bit. He said, if we could sit around in the evening and have a glass of something like, relaxing. And I said, like what? He said, if we could have a glass of wine in our culture, if we could have a beer or even a whiskey, I think we would relax more. He said, we sit around at night and have coffee, which means we don't get any sleep. So we don't get any rest, and we wake up in the morning and I said, well, I'm not going to get involved in your religious background, but I tend to agree that if we can get a decent night's sleep, we feel better. And maybe that glass of wine or whatever would help you to relax. So relax, enjoy, have a party. Don't have a meeting. I keep telling Rotarians, stop having meetings, stop having your weekly meetings that look like meetings. Have your meetings that look like a party. Invite a comedian to speak, not a businessman. Invite a singer and do karaoke. Again, I'm not a karaoke person, but I said invite a singer, not someone who's going to talk about how to make more money. Yeah, making money is important, but having fun is important. Yesterday, I was having a chat with a number of students outside our home. There were about 25 or 30 of them, and they were frustrated. I said, why are you angry? We don't have jobs. And I said, okay, well, what do you want to do? We just want a job. And I said, well, what a horrible thing to say. I just want a job. I said, do you realize that people your age in their early 20s created Microsoft? People your age created what is now in my hand, an iPhone. Do you realize that people your age created ways of communication that the world didn't even recognize a decade ago? I mean, the man who created Zoom was young. So we've got all these young people who are now my age who have made it possible for people your age to do the things we're doing right now, communicate around the world. And it started with someone who had an idea. So Rotaractors, have ideas, talk about them, share them, force the Rotarians to listen to you. We are now. As of a couple of years ago, Rotaract is now an integral part of Rotary, not just a program on the side. We need you. We need your brains. We need your energy. We need your excitement. We need your innovative ideas to come along and help us to do the things that we've been doing and doing successfully for over 100 years. But this is not our grandfather's Rotary, okay? The old meeting where everybody wore a coat and a tie and you came in a suit and you had a hat. We are not the exclusive group that we used to be. Do you realize in Rotary conventions in the past, we're talking now decades ago, if you walked into a Rotary meeting and you had a hat on, they would make you take off the hat and show the name of the company. And if the company wasn't owned by a Rotarian, you couldn't go into the meeting. We were that exclusive. Well, sorry, that's just stupid, okay? So we've grown. We need to grow more. We've allowed ladies into Rotary since officially 1989, but there was a club in 1987 who invited two ladies to join, and when they were caught with ladies in the meeting, they were thrown out of Rotary. Well, they fought that, and Rotarians in the United States fought with them against that rule. And 2 years later, the Supreme Court of the United States said you cannot discriminate because of gender. And now we've got ladies coming into Rotary. We have a president-elect from Canada, Jennifer Jones, who'll be our first lady president. By the way, she's a good friend and she likes my beard, even though her husband doesn't have one. Sorry. But anyway, we're changing. We need to change more. We need to be more inclusive, more inviting to young people. Again, if all of our Rotarians, have white beards and white hair, then we're not going to go anywhere. I went to the international convention in San Antonio many years ago. And I went with a couple of friends from our club here. And we were going different directions, seeing different things. And one of the men in the group said, I'll catch up to you. And I said, how will you find me with 20,000 people in a room? He said, I'll look for the white hair. He walked into the room and he said, I realized that 80% of the people in the room had white hair. He said, I could never find you. He actually texted me on the phone and he said, I'm in such and such and such. And I said, well, I'm on the other side of the room. You're never going to find me. Sit down someplace and enjoy the meeting. But we need more people with hair the color of yours. We need more young people. By the way, we need more people who are not afraid to look like men, Apar? We need more people who are able to dress the way they want to dress. We don't have to wear coats and ties. It's kind of nice with Zoom that I don't have to wear a coat and tie, and I can sit here in my Rotary shirt and have my shorts on, because I'm ready for the day, because it's going to be hot. We're going to be at 30 degrees today. So I don't have to wear a coat and tie. I can relax. When we go to official meetings, yes, we dress like business people. So we wear a coat and tie. But I've noticed more and more that even the Rotary president last year, Holger Canuck, had meetings with an open collar, which I thought was, for Rotary, extraordinary. I mean, it was groundbreaking. We have a Rotary president not wearing a tie. We need to be more like the people around us. Okay, I wear a coat and tie. I like looking like a professor because I am. I like being dressed up when I go to meetings, but I also enjoy not dressing up and being able to relax and be with people like you who have a different mindset. So Rotary needs you. And by the way, you need Rotary. I've done a lot of things in my life that were good. I've helped schools. I've helped children. We opened an orphanage and we were taking care of children who were either no parents or the parents had tossed them away. And I don't understand how that can happen, but we live in a weird world. I did a lot of those things as an individual. When I joined Rotary, the synergy of 2, 3, 4 people coming together with the same idea, it multiplied my efforts. So yes, Rotary needs you, but you need Rotary to fulfill your dreams, to accomplish your goals, to make you a better human being. So yes, Rotary needs you and you need Rotary, and we all need fellowship. We need to laugh, enjoy getting around and just talking about life, taking care of ourselves emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So take care of your beards. Regan, we're hoping that you come along. Take care of your beards, take care of your health, take care of your friends, and let's enjoy Rotary.
Yeah, let's enjoy Rotary. So if anyone of us have any questions to Patrick, any of us wants to talk about anything, Beard or Rotary or Rotaract or any thankful messages, please come forward. Apar, Bal, Rabindra,
Yeah.
Sag.
Yeah. I want to say something to Patrick.
Yeah.
As you already, you time and again told that you as beard was a white color and ours was black. The difference in color, but that suits you so well. I'm thinking of dyeing mine.
I've had people ask me if I was going to dye my hair. And I said, you see these white hairs? I earned every one of them. It comes with experience, it comes with life, it comes with being a grandfather. I have grandsons who are in their 20s. I have a granddaughter who's a year and a half. So I mean, there was a 15-year span between my oldest son and my youngest son, and that same that same distance is between my grandchildren. But I earned every hair. Living in Africa for nearly 40 years will do this to you. I've
Well,
lived
I
through
also have.
civil war. I've
My,
lived through rebellion. I've lived through
Mhm.
forced evacuations. I've
Yeah.
helped people who are being evacuated, and every time I do this, you can almost feel the white hair popping out. So I earned them, Apart. Don't dye it; it'll come in time, naturally.
Yeah.
okay, Patrick,
Yeah.
thank
The
you.
talk
Yes, and
that.
also your talk has inspired me to grow mine beard, not only just beard, but my masculine side more. I mean, the way you just stroke that handsome looking beard, a face of yours, that's another kind of inspiration to us.
It's even nicer when my wife strokes it.
Well, we'll get there too.
Yeah. So, anyone else wants to thank Patrick for his amazing talk, for all the inspiration, for all the interesting perspectives that he gave to us today? Anyone else? Mm. So, I had a question to Patrick. Like, so you are currently living in Zambia. I forgot the place's name. I
Luancha.
think Luanja. Luanja, yeah. So what I mean, you are you like indigenously from uh Zambia, or you moved in later, and then why are you in Zambia? Like,
Okay.
what's the purpose behind it?
I was born in Los Angeles. Uh, again, 67 years ago. Uh, I was educated in Missouri. I worked in 3 different states in schools and institutions of learning. Uh, Many of them were associated with a church, but I've always worked with young people. It's always been my goal since I was a young person, to make sure that young people had opportunities to excel. When I was young, I remember those days. Uh, I wanted a job like every other young person, but jobs were hard to come across. So I bought an old lawnmower and I began cutting grass, and I created my own company. So at the age of 16, I was making $150 a week, which back in those days was more than many adults were making. I took that money, I invested it. I invested it well. My mother was a banker, so she helped me. And that after I went from that job, I went to work in a company in a grocery store, and I hated it because I suddenly had a boss. So my goal was to become the boss. And as I worked, I became a manager in that store, and I felt better because I don't like working for somebody else. Uh, After I finished my initial education, I went into teaching. I had a boss, I had a principal, had a vice principal, had a board. So I worked and became a principal because I liked being in charge. Uh, I didn't like someone else telling me what to do. I wanted to be the guy that made it happen. But I learned that to do that, you have to be cognizant and aware of what other people need. So being the boss was not as fulfilling as being a leader. And I learned the difference. Well, after doing this for 8 years in Indiana, which is very cold, and winter is serious, and I don't like cold. I like warm. I do very well with 30 degrees. I can hardly exist at 10. So snow on the ground, ice everywhere, and I said, I've got to get out of here. So I contacted an agency, a mission agency, and I said, if you had somebody with my experience, education, business, and music, because I enjoy music, where would you send them if they wanted to volunteer for a few years? And they said, well, we have right now a need in Zaire. And I said, Zaire. Okay, where is that? And they said, oh, it's the old Belgian Congo. Oh, okay. I knew Congo. So I looked it up, found out that it's a wonderful place to live, an incredible nightlife, all kinds of things to do. And I said, great, sign me up. So I literally sold my house, took my kids and my wife, and we all moved to Zaire, only to find out that the tourist books have nothing to do with reality. The place was poor. The government was corrupt. Everybody was out to rip you off. I mean, literally, if you leave an empty bucket outside, it will be gone in 15 seconds. It was a horrible place. And there's an old story about a shoe salesman who went to a village and was very discouraged. He said, there's no way we're ever going to make it here. Nobody wears shoes. So he said, I can't do that. Another salesman went to the same village and went back to the company. He said, what a fantastic opportunity, because nobody in that village has shoes. So he took that village and became a multimillionaire because he was selling something that nobody had. I walked into Zaire and realized the corruption is beyond my belief. Children are not going to school. Those who are going to school have to bribe their school teachers to get a proper exam. So I began working with the educational system. I was there for 8 years. I'm fluent in Swahili. I speak French. So I'm able to chat with teachers and parents in their own language. The thing blew up because of Mobutu, and it was horrible. I left Zaire and moved to Zambia, kept trying to go back in until I realized it just wasn't going to be workable. It still isn't. Congo is still in an uproar. And we hope for better things, but corrupt politicians are corrupt politicians, and the people who follow them are often more corrupt than they are. So I come to Zambia. The president of the day, Kenneth Kaunda, invited me to come because he'd seen what we were doing. And in Zambia, I joined Rotary. I was asked to join Rotary, and I'd never been asked before. So I joined the Rotary Club. And again, I only volunteered for 3 years. And in 1984, I arrived in 1985. I was only going to be here for 3 years. After 3 years, I fell in love with the continent. I fell in love with the people. I fell in love with the lifestyle. I went back to the United States, finished selling everything else, and I've moved here. So I am here because I want to be here. I'm here because I can make a difference in the lives of children. And now those children have grown up and they have children. We have a library where youngsters can come and read. And the youngsters who used to read in our library are now bringing their children to read in the library. Just last night, my wife and I were standing in front of our house, again, just talking with friends. And a young lady walked by and she saw my wife and she said, Mrs. Coleman, do you remember me? And my wife said, no, I'm sorry. She said, when I was a little girl, we're talking 15, 20 years ago, when I was a little girl, I used to come to the resource center and read books. And you helped me learn to read. Now, now she's a mother. And again, this is what we were doing by ourselves without Rotary. In Rotary, we're able to take our efforts and work with somebody else and multiply that effort into what has become a national movement of children reading, children asking questions. And I tell people, I tell my students at the end of every session, we're going to stop for 5 or 6 minutes, ask questions. It has to pertain to the subject matter, but ask questions because I want to know what you want to know. So when I talk to Rotaractors like I am right now, what do you want to know? How can I help you become the human being, become the leader, become the national leader that you want to be? RLI is Rotary Leadership Institute. I don't know if you're familiar with RLI in Nepal. It's a fantastic way of learning basic leadership skills. It's very Rotary oriented, but it gives you basic leadership skills. So I'm leading several RLI programs online. And I've got, I limit it because it's Zoom and because it's difficult. I limit it to 12 people, and we talk about leadership in Rotary. So how did I come to Zambia? It was basically by accident. Again, I came to Congo on purpose for 3 years. I stayed there 8. And when that became untenable, I moved to Zambia and have continued my work. So I'm here, I arrived by accident. I'm here on purpose. My children keep saying, Dad, when are you going to retire? I said, I have. When are you going to come home? I'm in my home. This is my office. You see behind me all the books. This is where I live. This is where I want to live. And I'll live here until God says I'm done with you on earth. And I move to his presence. So that's why I'm here. Regan, thank you for the question. And I hope I've given you a long answer that will inspire you to want to do more. Because if you don't do more, you're just done.
Yeah, I think that's the whole essence of humans. I know, since you are also like lecturing, and then you've had a lot of knowledge regarding God and beliefs when you did your PhD in theology. Thank you for all the interesting perspectives on Rotary, and also different fellowship groups that's there are, and I'm sure a lot of Rotaractors will get inspired from the talk that you gave today. And
thank you.
So we, Rotaract District 3292, as a district, thank you heartfully from bottom of our hearts. Thank you, Patrick, and we are sure you will continue doing great work in Zambia, and then hopefully we will stay in touch. And then just in case if we do other events and then leadership programs, then we'll surely remember you for your inspiring stories, you know. And then also I just Googled it, and then I wanted to thank you in Zambian language. So I Googled it and it said Inde. I know. Is it Inde? Do they say Inde for thank you in Zambia? Or
there are 76 languages in Zambia.
in Zambia? Oh yes, I also saw that. But
So
then
we say here, we say Natotela.
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 Right. Yeah, Natotela. All right,
In
Natotela, Patrick.
Swahili, Asante Sana.
Uh-huh.
There's 1,000 languages in Africa. So, I mean, over 1 billion people. I don't know.
Patrick,
I don't know your language in Nepal, but whatever it is, thank you for inviting me. It was a great pleasure to talk to young people. It always is. Now, go to the Facebook page for Beard and Mustache Appreciation. Show your intention to join, and we'll get our secretary to contact you. By the way, it's free. If you have to go through the effort of growing a beard, we're not going to charge you for liking it.
I've already joined. I think I'm already a member of it, even though I have not grown my beard or mustache.
Well, Park can give you some hints on that. And so
Yeah.
can Sagar. And I'm looking at, I can't read the name. Rabindra.
Uh,
I see
Ravin-
a few faces.
yeah. I think we should part our ways now. Patrick, thanks again. Had a wonderful time listening to
Thank
you.
you, Patrick.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. See you later.
All
Bye.
right, bye-bye.
Take care.